Good morning, my name is Taylor Osner and this is my oral presentation. The first four sections, which are pedagogical knowledge, skills which enhance my teaching practice, professional dispositions which support engagement and leadership and/or advocacy opportunities, and development of architective change, will be the focus on what I've learned in this program and how it has developed me in those areas. I will discuss how the MED program has benefited me as a teacher, advocate, and leader. I will discuss my professional learning plan and the expected results that I have planned out for my kindergarten team to learn after I've presented the information to them. This first section is called Pedagogical Knowledge. In this section, I will focus on 3 different assignments that I've completed over the MED program. Under pedagogical knowledge, there are many assignments that I've completed over the course of this MED program to further my knowledge. The first assignment is my theorist research. My theorist was Maria Montessori. For this assignment, I had to research her work and what the benefits of her theory was and how it is used in today's schools. This helped me understand Montessori's theory and how individualized instruction is very important to help students learn best. This assignment added to my knowledge of how important individualized instruction is and how it can be used in a classroom. The next assignment is the Funds of Knowledge from my Understanding Curriculum class. For this assignment, I had to look at the Funds of Knowledge and select 3 students from my classroom to explore their funds of knowledge and how they use those in their homes and/or communities. I had to think of a classroom application where their funds of knowledge could be used. This assignment taught me to look more into the student's home life and make connections for my students to make their learning easier. The next assignment is the literature review from my Teachers as Researchers class. For this assignment, I had to pick my action research topic and dive into articles that related to that topic. The topic I chose was physical activity and education in schools. I evaluated 15 articles and had to make connections between those 15 articles based on themes within them. The assignment taught me how to research and make connections over different materials. These assignments added to my pedagogical knowledge in different ways through articles and student research. The second section is skills which enhance my teaching practices. In this section, I will focus on 3 different assignments that I've completed over the MED program. Under skills which enhance teaching practices, there were many assignments that I've completed over the course of this MED program to better my teaching skills. The first assignment is the case study. For this assignment, I had to select 3 different students from each age group and give each student the same assessments in both reading and writing. There were 3 assessments for each subject. After the assessments were completed, then I reviewed and developed a plan of action for what the student needed next in each subject area. The assignment helped me develop a further understanding of how to take data and decide on a plan of action based on students' needs. The next assignment is literacy engagements. For this assignment, I had to select a reading strategy that I wanted to test out in my own classroom. I had to connect the strategy to the standards that I was teaching from, give feedback on how the lesson went, and connect it to my teaching philosophy. This assignment helped me learn different literacy strategies that I could use in my classroom for teaching reading. For the next assignment, it is a handout on family and school relationships from my Family School Partnership course. For this assignment, I had to research different ways that families and schools could communicate. I had to test these different ways in my own classroom and evaluate the methods of communicating and present this information to my colleagues. This has benefited my teaching by learning about different ways to communicate with families. These assignments have given me different skills to enhance my teaching practices. The third section is called Professional Dispositions, which support engagement and leadership and/or advocacy. In this section, I will focus on 3 different assignments that I've completed over the course of the MED program. Under professional dispositions which support engagement and leadership and/or advocacy, I will be focusing on professional dispositions that made my leadership ability better. There are many assignments that I've completed over the course of this MED program to better my professional dispositions. The first assignment is the book club, which was many assignments within the book club. My group and I had to complete many papers and presentations over the book called Power of Play. During the process of working with my group, I learned how to work collaboratively to divide up responsibility for the assignments and communicating with each other about the progress of our contributions to the assignment. This assignment taught many different skills in collaborating with colleagues. The next assignment is the English Language Learners Survey. For this assignment, I had to choose 2 different English language learners from my class and ask them a series of questions. I had to analyze the answers and make a conclusion on their background and their culture. In the process of this assignment, I learned about a Chinese Mandarin culture and a Hispanic culture, which gave me a great insight to their lives. This assignment connects to the principle of development, specifically principle number 4, which discusses variations due to cultural context, experiences, and individual differences. After this assignment, I was able to bring some of their culture into my classroom. This made my classroom more diverse with the different conversations and activities we did. This will be something I will continue to do each and every year. The next assignment is my action research project. For this assignment, I had to produce a research question and use my students in my research. At the start of my research, I had to present the research topic to my principal and get approval before continuing in my own classroom. The next step was getting permission from my students' parents to take data on their child. I had to send a permission form home stating the research topic, reason for the research, and state what specifically I would do with the research. This assignment taught me legal and ethical conduct because if I had not got permission before starting my research, it would have been invalid. These assignments have taught me key professional dispositions that have made me a better teacher with being able to contribute to my team and adding these skills. These assignments have taught me many ways to improve my leadership skills. The 4th section is called the Development as an Architect of Change. In this section, I will focus on one major assignment that I've completed over the MED program. Under Architect of Change, which is the change I want to see in the future of my teaching, I will be focusing on changes that will make me a better advocate for my students and colleagues. The assignment that helped me learn to be an advocate was the advocacy presentation. For this assignment, I had to find a way to be an advocate for an issue in my classroom. The issue was play-based learning and how it isn't being used in the classroom as much as it used to be. For this research, I had to listen to my students, ask questions about how my students felt, and observed what they did throughout the day. I was able to make my arguments and discuss topics based on their needs. This assignment connects to the Architect of Change, specifically number 6, which is communication and advocacy. I learned being an advocate is very important because my students didn't have a voice to talk to administration about how there isn't enough time for my kindergarten class to play throughout the day. I had to be the bridge between my students and my admin team. I was an advocate for my team when thinking of ways to implement play into our daily schedules. Being an advocate for my students and my team is something I felt more comfortable doing than compared to the start of the MED program. I now know what being an advocate means and how important it is to be the voice for someone who doesn't have one. Advocacy will now be the forefront of my mind when teaching my students and working with my colleagues. The MED program has bettered me as a teacher in many ways. A few ways are learning new skills to have better community in my classroom, learning new strategies to teach my students, and furthering my knowledge in those theories and foundations of teaching. I've researched more educational theorists, strategies, and practices. I'm now going into my second year of teaching, and these things are going to be my focus for the start of the school year. I've learned last year how important classroom community is and the difference it can make in a school year. The students need that community of being kind and respectful to one another. This program has showed me the importance of community within the classroom. The MAD program has bettered me as an advocate in many ways. A few ways are learning ways to express the issues that I've heard from my colleagues and students and coming up with solutions on some of those issues. I've explored different ways to help my team with better communication and listening skills. Being an advocate is standing up for people who don't have a voice. However, it is also listening to people who don't want to project their voice for everyone to hear. This is something I learned about myself at the start of last year. I was that person who wouldn't want to speak up. This ended up hurting me because I never got to say what I thought about things such as math small groups, math number talks, or even planning dates. The MAD program has bettered me as a leader in many ways. A few ways are learning communication skills, collaboration, and organization. Some examples that I've done to be a leader is being on the math team this past school year. The other teacher helping on the math team left in the middle of the school year. This left me as a first-year teacher planning math alone. I had remembered some of the leadership skills from this program. The one that stood out to me was communication. I had to communicate to my instructional coach, grade chair, and whole team about if I needed help. I had to communicate the lessons each week during our weekly meetings. This past year taught me the importance of leaders and leadership skills. From this program, I gained the courage to become a member of the Math Instructional Leadership Team for kindergarten this year, discussing and planning math lesson plans. This section is my professional learning plan and the impact of the driving question. The question I researched for my professional learning plan is how can I use informal assessments to assist emerging readers in small groups. The expected results after completing my professional learning plan is to use more informal assessments in everyday teaching. The 4 expected results that teachers will learn are the purpose, strategies, benefits, and knowledge of informal assessments. The purpose of informal assessments is to collect student data. In my research, some ways teachers collect student data may be from students playing or students completing a project. The new strategies that will be gained from observations and collecting data. For new strategies that I found in my research were watching for understanding, asking questions, or confidence check-ins. The benefits of informal assessments is to see students' full potential. Some benefits found in my research is students won't have to perform under pressure, and younger students perform best on informal assessments. This is one of the main reasons I chose this research topic because in kindergarten, having to take formal assessments consistently isn't the best practice for our students. The knowledge gained about informal assessments will teach teachers how to analyze the data that is collected. There is much knowledge gained from informal assessments such as learning styles, student interest, and content area that needs assistance. These are the expected results presented in the information to my kindergarten team. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen and review my oral presentation.